Jake Paul's California mansion has been raided by the FBI, multiple news organizations report. You can see in this aerial footage agents in uniform outside his home in Calabasas.
You know what's funny about your brother? Your brother talks more shit than anybody else on the planet. They're trying to sue people when people talk shit. There's people out there saying they're fake fights, they're fixed.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua's a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again.
Once again, Jake Paul is at the center of a storm that could end his controversial career as a YouTuber turned boxer. New claims say he may have scripted his big fights, including the huge Netflix match against Anthony Joshua, and some online rumors even say he and his brother could face arrest. Promoters and officials strongly deny that real fights can be fixed without legal trouble, but doubts about Paul's boxing skills are growing fast. This is a dramatic turn for someone whose past troubles include an FBI raid on his Calabasas home. Now, as these claims spread and his boxing reputation is questioned more than ever, many wonder, is this really the end of Jake Paul's rise?
FBI agents have raided the Southern California home of YouTube star Jake Paul. Federal officials say the search was part of an investigation. Wendy Birch is in Calabasas with what we're learning tonight.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home located in this gated community off of Mulholland Highway. We counted close to 24 federal agents, some of them in tactical gear, entering the residence. Why they were here and what they were looking for, that remains unclear. The federal search warrant has been sealed and no one is offering any additional information.
Many boxing experts, former fighters, and promoters have doubted Jake Paul's fights for years, even before the recent arrest rumors. Critics point to his hand-picked opponents who were past their best, strange fight pacing, late knockdowns, and contracts said to have strict rules. Because of this, many believe his success feels planned rather than truly earned.
Because I've always been curious about this, because, like, you know, you saw the Askren fight, we saw these fights that he went into. The Fury one obviously didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, just because I was so convinced that, like, Jake had these fights fixed, and there's a lot of people who talk about the fights being fixed because it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they tell me that too. They're like, tell me you're not going to take a fall against Paul. Everybody says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to fall on anybody.
Veteran voices in boxing often say that while Jake Paul brings huge attention and money to the sport, his fights usually avoid real danger. This makes people believe the results are meant to protect his image instead of testing true skill. As these doubts grow, every new controversy adds to the same story, that Jake Paul's boxing path is built more on image, control, and influence than the harsh, unpredictable nature of real boxing.
Blink twice if that Jake Paul fight was set up.
What happened to me is what was going to happen to him had he dropped those hands. If I say, Rampage, I'm going to pay you $2 million, right? Let this dude beat you, what you going to do? You're going to feel disrespected, number one. Right? That ain't enough money. For me to do that, I got to be willing to walk away for good. Something like 20-something million where I can invest it and fall off in the shade, because that's what you will have to do.
In the past, the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul grabbed huge attention because of its intensity and drama. Online rumors spread fast after a leaked script claimed the Tyson vs. Jake Paul fight was planned ahead of time. Alleged audio recordings were said to support these claims, saying the fight's big moments, like Tyson looking tired and Jake Paul winning by knockout, were set up in advance.
A high school graduate in the United States is $1.3 million. Again, that's over the course of the person's entire life. Jake Paul earned 30 times that in one night. People talk about winners and losers, like Jake Paul won and Mike Tyson lost.
After his win over Mike Tyson, Jake Paul shared his thoughts about how he performed in the ring. He spoke with confidence and said, "I didn't get hit much or hurt." This showed that he believed he controlled the fight and faced little resistance. Many of his fans celebrated his words, seeing them as proof that he has real skill and can face even legendary fighters. However, critics quickly pointed out the lack of excitement and danger, saying Tyson looked weak and questioning whether the fight was truly fair.
Bang, big as a Super Bowl.
Big as the Super Bowl. Big as the what?
And
Why was
bigger.
Mike wearing assless chaps though? In the
Did that moment go viral with his cheeks out?
I don't know. It made my stomach hurt. Though.
I was seeing it
Why didn't he
while
have
I was
underwear
ringside.
on?
He had a G-string on, is what he had.
Almost.
I thought he was completely butt naked.
Nah, he looked like a stripper.
But yeah, biggest live gate, 18.1 millions in U.S. boxing history outside of Las Vegas. A phenomenal night. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out, though, guys.
Shut the fuck up. It was
really
crazy
sorry.
when we talked about this. I told him you were going to say some dumb shit. You did the right thing at the end. You bowed. You kept it classy.
The recent fight against Anthony Joshua is no different. Many commentators called the matchup strange and unfair, pointing to the huge gap in experience, size, and background between Jake Paul and Joshua. They said it looked more like a show than a real sport. Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer with a 12-1 record, was facing a former two-time world heavyweight champion who has fought top fighters his whole career. Because of this, many saw Paul as a money-making opponent, not a serious challenge, which added to the belief that the event was more spectacle than true competition.
Jake Paul, fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the bar knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
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 How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
It'll be over when he wants it to be over.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul is going into this fight with a level of confidence that has surprised even experienced observers. Recent comments say he truly believes he can rise to the challenge and win. Unlike some past fights, Paul is showing strong focus and determination this time. Analysts watching his training say his mindset matters a lot, and his confidence comes from both physical readiness and mental strength. This shows he is not taking the former heavyweight champion lightly, but instead sees the fight as a big chance to prove himself on the world stage.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here. First round KO.
However, Jake Paul's growing confidence in boxing has also brought doubt from many experienced analysts. Critics say Paul believing he can truly challenge someone like Anthony Joshua is not realistic. Joshua is a highly skilled and experienced heavyweight with many years of training, several championship fights, and strong endurance that Paul has never faced before. Some observers also point to Paul's body and recent performances, suggesting he may be relying on PEDs or other substances.
Is Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe to win in a combat sport.
Despite all the controversies, people are still putting real money on this fight. The heavy betting has now become part of the controversy around the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua event. Fans, casual bettors, and even some famous figures are placing wagers on different outcomes. This betting activity is adding more fuel to the debate about whether the matchup is a real sporting contest or just a spectacle meant to entertain.
Thank you. So do you think it's going to be real, this fight? Do you think it's actually... So you think that Jake Paul...
You couldn't fake it. You really think Anthony Joshua's going to put his whole livelihood on the line for Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
There could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where they have a handshake.
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So we're
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some on. So it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, 6 foot. Was he 6'6"?
About that.
Fucking. What's he 16? What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah, but do I think he's improved enough to be competitive? Unless I close my eyes and Josh is completely shot to bits, no.
Yeah, and so is the potential that Jake Paul, like, I know you keep saying no, I know you're right, but is there a world in which you see Jake Paul landing a shot?
As rumors of a leaked script spread, boxers who fought Jake Paul faced criticism, with some saying he hurt his own reputation. Fans also speculated that Tyson agreed to fight Paul, which made people feel his famous career was damaged by taking part in a fight that seemed staged.
The Tyson versus Paul script was fully leaked all the way down to the bow Jake did in round 8. This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5, but that one was clearly not real or an older script. This will give you goosebumps. I'm just going to read you parts, but if you want to see the full script, I'll show you it at the end. Round 1, opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened. Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And round 8 wins by decision and bows at the end. This is crazy. Subscribe, and if you want to read it yourself, it's right here.
Observers noticed strange moments during Jake Paul's fights, like Tyson supposedly whispering instructions to him and referees signaling Paul to skip certain moves. These actions made people suspect the fights were scripted. However, Matchroom Boxing CO publicly denied that the Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua fight is fixed. Hearn said the fight, if it happens, will follow real professional rules and will not be an exhibition or a pre-planned show, pushing back against all scripting rumors.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing glove throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. For those of you who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight. That should be enough proof that this fight is scripted.
Frank Smith has stirred new controversy about the Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul fight, saying it's more about show than real sport. He argued the bout is meant for entertainment, not a true test of skill. Smith said fans are being shown a spectacle designed to sell tickets and shock, rather than honor boxing's real competition. He also mentioned he hopes a Fury vs. Joshua fight could happen, calling it the biggest fight possible and hoping it happens by 2026. At the same time, he warned that boxing is full of talk, and not all planned fights actually happen, meaning many obstacles still remain.
What do you say to the people who say Anthony is ruining his legacy just by taking this fight?
Fans don't respect what he's done in the sport already. He's an Olympic gold medalist, 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world.
I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight?
It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. rounds, it wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going in there to knock out Jake Paul.
Sorry, just to silence all the doubters here. You know, a lot of people saying this can't be real. You know, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's going to it's going to be choreographed, and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua. Just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People asking why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, you know, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out, you know, but we're in for a bit of fun and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. You know, look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this. And I don't think he quite realises. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, you know, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but, you know, if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is still sometime in 2026, AJ against Tyson Fury. And Turki Al-Sheikh's working on that, is he?
That's the fight we want to make. That's the fight we want to see. Look, we're all guilty of doing a lot of talking over the years and that not happening. So I don't want to talk too much, but that is definitely what we want to see in 2026. It's one of the biggest fights in the sport, and I'm very hopeful that we will see that.
Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has also responded to the scripting claims, though his answers caused some debate. Hearn joked that the only script is Joshua's plan to knock Paul out fast. He said this was meant to show the fight is serious and to reject ideas of pre-planned results. At the same time, having to publicly joke and explain shows how much these rumors have spread among fans and the media.
I get so many people can't speak. Yeah, but it's obviously scripted, isn't it? I'm like, no. 1, that's illegal. I mean, this is a professional contest. 2, we would never sign up to anything that's going to make AJ look bad or devalue him, lose rounds, go loads of rounds.
Do you think there's any world in which AJ pulls back, though?
No, absolutely. He couldn't do that as a fighter. He would be incapable of going in there and holding back. I mean, I think the only thing that's a bit harsh is if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the first round, he should be ashamed of himself. Like, Brian, give us 2, like, or 3. Because if Jake does move, he can look after himself. It's not like he's just going to get one shot round the arm and go on the floor. He's a tough guy.
Do you think this is the end of Jake Paul's career, or just another scandal he will survive? Share your thoughts in the comments below.